The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's special episode of Take That Depression. I'm Kyler. As always, that's Spencer.
How's it going, guys?
How was your week this week, Spencer?
It was really good. I got to see some friends and family, ate a bunch of food, more food than I should have eaten, but that's what the holiday's all about.
Yes. Yeah, we're recording this right after Thanksgiving, obviously. Same points as you. I got to see family, got to eat good food. Can't really complain about that. Now what we can kind of complain about, I wouldn't see it as complaining, but you guys might feel differently. Let us know. We just got out of our quarterly business meeting for TTD, and as I'm sure is a surprise to nobody, all of our metrics are down, and that's fine. We are determined to make this work, and we're a podcast about learning. So if we just kept doing the same thing and expected different results, you could call us crazy. So this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what the future of Take That Depression looks like. So definitely come along for the ride. We're going to go over the short-term future and maybe some longer-term projects that we may have going on. Before we talk about the future, what we have been seeing, call us crazy if you need to, or correct us, but what we have been seeing is just week over week kind of plummeting engagement, interest, which is not you guys, it's not your guys' fault if we're not making interesting content. I think that we need to then shift and adjust, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Across Facebook and Spotify and pretty much everywhere except for our TikTok, which is a bit of a unique case, we are losing interest, which again is fine. We are pushing forward in a new way. Part of one of the things that got us started in this is a project that Spencer and I are interested in that requires an artistic touch that neither of us have.
Unfortunately.
And we've been talking about what that looks like moving forward. And when we made Take That Depression, I think we decided to try and get everybody included in this thing that we were excited about and passionate about. And that just doesn't work. I was talking to my wife earlier tonight, and she likened it to like a TV station. You don't ever see a TV station that has news in the morning and a game show at noon, and then your soap at 2 o'clock, and then your cartoon at 6 o'clock. And you have TV stations that are focused so that you pick out the 1 or 2 or 3 that you like, and you watch those, and then you don't have to really pay attention to the other ones. We cast our net a little too wide, I think, in the beginning.
This has always been kind of a project. We're serious about Take That Depression, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kyler, but the way I've always kind of looked at this is this is our first real project that we've been working on, and it's been kind of trial and error. So adaptability and reforming, evolving are all things we've talked about and talking about doing if necessary and when necessary. Yes. I think a lot of the skills, the plan was a lot of the skills I think we were learning together and kind of each week would help us focus and iron out the skills we are working towards and the projects we want to work towards respectfully.
Yeah, this has been always about learning. And we had said that if nothing else, if at the end of this project we still had no consistent viewership, audience, whatever, we will have learned what it takes to make a podcast. And that holds true for me. I am still learning things about editing as I'm going through this. So if we make this change and it is still nothing, we are still seeing a downturn in interest or viewership. At our next quarterly business meeting, we will discuss what the next phase looks like. We are making this to let you guys know what to expect from us, so you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to continue giving us your interest or move on. This podcast has never been a question. Spencer and I are both committed to this podcast for at least 52 weeks.
We've never said it, but that was where it lined up. We're committed 52 episodes. At 52, we were seeing where that goes, and we're still on track with that. And we're still maybe even more than that too. That was just the goal. That was the mark to reevaluate and see where are we, where do we go, what are our next steps.
Yeah, because that's another thing too that we'll cover a little bit later on. We wanted to start this, I think part of it for me was to ready myself to be perceived by the wider world in ways that I hadn't done before. Again, not much of a social media guy. I would never put myself out on TikTok. I've done so much of that now. So that, like, moving forward, again, later on in the video, we're going to talk in abstract about a couple other things we got going on. But this has always been the start a bigger thing. Not that this was planned to end, or that we wouldn't continue this through, or that this couldn't, whatever. But this was always a trial run of other things that we could do. And I didn't want to just give up on this at the end of the 52 weeks if we didn't have to. Mm-hmm. If it was just a thing that we were making and nobody was interested in, I wanted for myself to do 52 of something, to learn what that took, to learn what it is, to learn how to do that. I was talking, I think, on episode 5 that I can't remember the time that...
You've consistently have done something for X amount of weeks in a row, yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate this for that. And I want you guys to know that I am not stubborn and hard-headed enough to just continue running what we wanted this to be into your guys' throats or into the ground. We are super willing to grow. If there's anything that you want to see from us, again, always let us know. If there's anything you're interested in, let us know. But for right now, what TTD is becoming is Spencer and I, have gone back and forth quite a bit at work about wanting to learn how to draw. So right now, what we are committing to for a while, probably until the next quarterly business meeting, is we are going to do our best to learn how to draw in the time that we have every week, and do our best to coach anybody who's interested in learning how to draw in that time also. Any tips and tricks that we've learned, we're going to share our progress on the Facebook page. We're going to share anything that we kind of do weekly. I think we're going to have a weekly kind of drawing thing that we do, and that's going to actually be the podcast. Is we're going to get a word, or we're going to set up a scene. We'll conceptualize it for you with our words, and then we will sit here and kind of BS and draw with each other for another 10, 20 minutes, and then put those up on Facebook for you guys. Put those drawings up on Facebook. And you guys can come along for that too. If you guys are interested in drawing, feel free to post any of that below our episode announcements, or DM us your own drawings. Feel free to do that. We'd love to have you guys along for the ride.
You're still getting skill checks. It's just at this time, the skill checks are going to be very focused, and it's going to be on the aspect of drawing, learning to draw. For me, Kyler's good. He's learning. I am going from rags to riches. It is going from 2nd grade level drawing, and I'm hoping I can at least get to 6th grade level drawing. Yeah. But it'll be just, we'll have the links of what we're using, the different techniques, things that helped us, things that didn't. Yep. But it's going to be based around drawing. It's the TTD drawing arc.
Yep. I think that this, more than ever, neither Spencer nor I are exceptional artists. And we'd be crazy if we told you that we were. But what we do now get to do is hopefully display what I talked about a few episodes ago, the Ira glasses the gap, in that I'm sure, will get in way over our heads with conceptualizing these images. I'm going to talk crazy talk probably for the first month or two about these things that I want to accomplish. You're going to listen to the episode, see the image on Facebook, and you're going to be like, none of that came through.
That's not what I was expecting.
However, that taste that got us here, that should be pushing us to the next thing so that we can keep making content. We're going through the volume of work to match our skill level with our taste. I don't know that we'll get there at the end of 52, and if we continue it, I'm sure we will get there after the 52. But that's where we're focusing our energy right now. We're going to be shifting to take that depression, the drawful arc.
That's such a good name. I really like that.
And there will be some awful drawings for you all to look at. However, know that this has always been and will always be about learning. And that's what we are doing. We are putting our nose to the grindstone. This is not something that we're innately good at. I know I for sure am going to struggle to be perceived to put that work out there because, again, I didn't really want to start this podcast when we did. I didn't want to start a podcast that was not perfect. And through research, seeing things on Facebook, talking to Spencer, whatever, the make a thing exist, then make it good has been very impactful for me. That's what this podcast is. We made this podcast. We're trying to make it good. It is not good. It is failing actively. We are making changes to make it good. We'd appreciate you guys to come along for the ride if you're interested in that. If not, we super understand. We love you for it. No hard feelings. If you're not here for drawing, you're not here for drawing, man. That's what comes with kind of picking a niche, focusing that net down where we were casting it too wide. With this episode dropping, maybe give us like 48 hours. I don't know how on the ball we're going to be. We will be shifting the title of our TTD stuff to take that depression, the drawful arc, as well as debuting our new logo that my wonderful wife drew up for us. That is neither Spencer nor I's artistry. So don't be fooled when you see that and be like, oh, these guys aren't that bad. That's not us. That, again, was my amazing wife who took time out of her day, her maternity leave, to do that for us. So we really appreciate that. That being said, we promised you future. And another thing that my wife is working on is a project that we're working on together that we are looking at making under our umbrella here. She and I are working on debuting that in early 2026. So I look forward to that. Spencer, do you have anything that you are working on?
This year, I'm going to try. I have a goal to start it towards the end of December. It might lead into early 2026, but I'm going to give my hand at streaming and see what that looks like and see if we can get that all figured out. Very casual, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay. Is there anything in specific that you're looking at streaming, or are you just kind of doing?
I'm kind of just winging it. I don't know if there's necessarily a niche.
Okay.
I might start with some old GameCube games, or I recently found that, so I was like, well, what better way than starting with that, getting to play old games and
yeah, going back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
No, there really isn't.
Anything else on the horizon, or?
Part of what we're working towards, part of why I've been so passionate about drawing, is there's actually another project in the works. It's a little early to be talking about that, but just know that this drawing arc isn't just out of a hat, out of nowhere. There's a method to our madness, so we are really excited and hope you guys can stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we did not just pull a drawing out of a hat. It is something that,
This is our skill now.
It is something that both Spencer and I are very interested in. I've always wanted to be better at drawing, and
Now I need to be better at drawing.
talking with Spencer about this project has excited something in me that, really kind of forces my hand to get a little bit better at drawing. If not to actually be a good drawer, to be competent enough to put together concept art that an actual artist can use. So, I am stoked to hopefully be able to spoil more of that when the time is right, but it is, if we're just learning how to draw quite early on in that whole process. But definitely stay tuned.
In other news, exciting things we get to announce. Electric Boogaloo Part 2.
Yes.
One thing we're looking forward to is Tiny Crimes production. So with Kyler and his wife having their own projects, me having the project of streaming and maybe other things, and the potential of having other friends join us on ventures, we thought it would be cool to have just an umbrella for everything instead of having you guys find 18 different sites, 18 different, platforms to see a content. What we would like to do is streamline that and have everything under the umbrella Tiny Crimes Productions.
Yeah. Hopefully what that looks like is a Facebook group or a link tree or both or something like that where you can go to the Tiny Crimes Production Facebook group and we will post every project that we're doing, when episodes are dropping. If like Spencer's going live, we'll post it there, and that will be your hub for anything related to any of that. And that's going to kind of, like Spencer said, be the umbrella over all of our projects. So if you're interested in us, but you're not interested in drawing, or you're not interested in streaming or whatever, stay tuned to those avenues, and then that will show you all of the stuff that we're doing and keep you up to date with when we're doing them so that you can keep track of us. And I think that's the big bit of our exciting news. I think that we have kind of been scratching our heads past couple weeks, and I know I've kind of been feeling a little bit down, disappointed that we haven't been doing better. But that leads us to this point where we get to announce all these exciting things, at least exciting for us, and remaining passionate about Take That Depression. You will get an episode, at least 52 episodes. I am not going to say every week because there might be stuff that comes up, but you will get 52 episodes of Take That Depression out of us at least. I will guarantee you that right now. If one of us were to tragically pass away in a freak skydiving accident, I would expect the other to continue the podcast until they reach 52 episodes.
I hope it's me in the skydiving accident. I can't do this without you.
So that's a Kyler guarantee to you guys. If we're still not doing well in the next quarter, we're going to try and change it up again. But we are excited about everything that's to come. Metrics aside, I am excited for the next chapter. I am excited for TTD, the Drawful Arc. I'm excited for Tiny Crimes Productions and all the other projects that we get to bring into the fold. It's an exciting time for us, and I hope that means it's an exciting time for you guys as well.
Everything we've talked about is great news. It's moving forward. It's a good change, and I'm very excited to see how it unfolds.
Yep. All of that being said, I do want to touch back on last week's episode. I was recording the day before I had a procedure. If you care, I'm going to talk about the results of that I have. If you don't care, you know the bit. You can just kind of skip off from here. I had an upper endoscopy done last week. a portion of my esophagus, it kind of turns into the material that your intestines are made out of, which does carry with it some medical risks. They also took 3 biopsies, of which I don't have the results back for yet, but they didn't seem too worried about anything. So I think we're all in the clear. There's nothing going on with me other than that. Happy to have that done. That was an experience.
I'm excited you came back to share because I know I've been curious about that all week.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. I'll let you know if the biopsies come back as anything different, but no news is good news, in my opinion.
Success! We also want to thank you guys, just all of you who have been listening. Like, we really appreciate it. Whether it's you're interested, whether it's just you showing support, regardless of the circumstance, we appreciate it, and we wouldn't be here without you guys.
Yeah. Can't thank you guys enough. Again, yeah. If you know us, if you're listening because you like the content, whatever, if you're listening, thank you. Especially right now, when you could have skipped all the dumb stuff that I was talking about. Thank you so much.
With that being said,
as we always love to say at the Take That Depression, the Drawful Arc podcast, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.